Welcome back. This is the next part. We're getting lower in the shelf. We're gonna start with the Funkos. So there's Supergirl. Move Supergirl out of the way. Wonder Woman. Move Wonder Woman out of the way. Daenerys looks dead here. Move her out of the way. And this is like a Game of Thrones Lannister shot glass there. And Ygritte from Game of Thrones as well. Okay. So, Forever Marilyn box set. I actually want to get a Marilyn Monroe Funko to go along with it. This is actually a great set with a few films from her. So let me just see which ones they have. Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, which is great. How to Marry a Millionaire, which is also great. River of No Return, which is okay. There's No Business Like Show Business, which is good. 7-Year Itch, which is fantastic. I love that film. I also love Some Like It Hot. Misfits is okay, but this has the essential Marilyn Monroe titles. Thing that annoys me about this is the fact that it's kind of like a DVD size. That really irks me for some reason, because it's hard to like put in and it's like so big. But this is a great set. She wasn't like a great actress, but very memorable, and she's in a lot of good films, so I'm not gonna hate. Okay, so this is Supergirl, the complete second season. I don't like the show like after the first season, but the steelbook was nice, and it matches this Wonder Woman one. That's the only reason I got this. Probably never gonna rewatch it, but there's that. Wonder Woman, which is a good film, great steelbook. I know they keep re-releasing the steelbooks and stuff for this one, but I'm fine with this one. Gal Gadot did a good job here. Best DCEU film for me. One of my favorite action series of all time. I've got a lot of Tom Cruise in my collection, and Mission Impossible is great. 1 is good, 2 is okay, 3 is great, Ghost Protocol is great, Rogue Nation is great, and Fallout is fantastic. Fallout is one of the best action films I've ever seen. It's amazing. And kudos to Tom Cruise for like doing the practical stunts as well in his films. And then there's this Braveheart Gladiator double pack. Braveheart is amazing. I think Mel Gibson is great in that film. Gladiator, I didn't like as much on a rewatch, but it's still a great film. This is a really good set. I kind of would prefer not to get it with this thing and just put the titles in just so it takes up less space, but you know, this is how it came. And this is not a Blu-ray, but this is Taylor Swift's Lover album, deluxe album version. I have a few of these. I'm a huge fan of her, so you're gonna see some Blu-rays including Taylor Swift. And I don't care about the haters, you know. Let's start with the Blu-rays. Dark City, Alex Proyas film, director's cut. I don't know if I've seen the director's cut, but this is a really good sci-fi film. A lot of people say it breaks down at the end, which I can see, but I think it's a very enjoyable film. Dark Shadows, a Tim Burton film that is okay. Johnny Depp kind of does what he has to do in this film. I like that Eva Green is in it. It's not a great film, but it's fine. Dark Star, which is an early John Carpenter film, and this is kind of like a black comedy in space, and it's funny. I like it. I'm glad to have it on Blu-ray. I actually got it very recently, and also got this pretty recently. One of my favorite horror directors is Dario Argento. The Cat on Nine Tails was okay. I didn't love it, but Deep Red is fantastic. I love Deep Red. Deep Red is the best one out of these three, and Inferno is pretty good too. People say it has a weak plot, but like the style and horror of it is really great. This is a great set to have. I have more stuff from him as well. I think he's a fantastic director. Speaking of fantastic directors, George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead. I believe they've re-released this since then. This was a rare copy when I got it, but this is fine for me. Great zombie film. I'm kind of over zombies now because things like The Walking Dead has taken it, overdrawn it. But Dawn of the Dead, the original, is great. And I'm also a fan of the sequel, which feels like more serious, and much apart from the theme of them going into a mall. It feels like a very different film for me. Zack Snyder came onto the scene with this and blew it out of the park. I think this is a great horror film. Day After Tomorrow, which is another Roland Emmerich disaster film, which I think is good, kind of about global warming and the effects. This came with the Deadpool slip, which is ridiculous, but whatever, it's a slip cover. Speaking of the Deadpools, they're coming up very soon. Dead Alive, which is an early Peter Jackson film. If you've not seen this film, please watch it. I was introduced to this by a psychology of horror professor, and she's like, we actually watched it in class, and this is such a fantastic film. It's over the top violence, so good. You wouldn't think that the man who directed Lord of the Rings did that first. Dead or Alive, which is pretty bad. Even on a rewatch, it was pretty damn bad. I've never played the game, but this film really sucks. I don't know why I got it. It was pretty cheap. Sometimes I get things that are cheap. Deadpool Steelbook. Pretty good film. I like Ryan Reynolds in this role. I think he does a good job. And then Deadpool 2, which I think is fairly close in quality to the first one. I'm not a big fan of this steelbook, but I like this little plastic cover that comes with it. I'm sure they're gonna make a third one. I mean, it makes so much money to not get a third. And Martin Scorsese triple feature, The Departed, which is absolutely fantastic. I have a little bit of problems with the end, but the ride to that point is amazing. Goodfellas, which is also amazing. I probably need to get Goodfellas in a better format, like maybe the 4K steelbook that came out or is coming out. And then Aviator, which is also really good as well. Really, Martin Scorsese is fantastic. There's no other thing to say about that. Devil Wears Prada, which is a really good kind of comedy film with a really great performance by Meryl Streep and Anne Hathaway and even Emily Blunt. Yeah, things in this film get awkward and stuff, but it's fun to watch. Another Hitchcock classic, Dial M for Murder. I don't know about the 3D. I do not think it comes in this box set, so I had to get a separate copy. Maybe it does, but I already had this copy anyways, and I didn't get rid of it. Amazing film, one of the best from Hitchcock. It's hard to say what is the best from Hitchcock because like he was on a roll at one point and just released great film after great film. I got this copy used. As you can see, it looks kind of weird. Diary of a Teenage Girl, really good film. Belle Powley is fantastic in it. I don't know if it's based on a book, but I like that film. Picked this up recently. Dick with Kirsten Dunst and Michelle Williams while they're young, and it's like where they expose the Watergate scandal without even knowing it because they're like too ditzy to realize what they're doing. But this is a really funny film. Dirty Girl with Juno Temple. This was a foreign release, and you wouldn't actually, I think it's like a German release or something, but you wouldn't be able to tell just by the cover, which I really like because it's not available here. This is a pretty entertaining film. Dirty Harry. I've thought about getting the entire series, but I'm fine with just the first one. Classic Clint Eastwood, nice book. Got this used and cheap, so no complaints there. The Disappearance of Eleanor Rigby. This comes with 3 versions of him, her, and them. So it's like 3 versions of the same film, but told from different perspectives. And then them is like a cut together of both. I've seen all 3 multiple times because I really like this film. I don't know what it is, but I really like this film, and I'm a big fan of Jessica Chastain as well, so that probably helps. The Disaster Artist. I've got The Room on Blu-ray as well. That's gonna come up later. But this film, directed by James Franco, is amazing. He does a great job as Tommy Wiseau. I love this film. I think it's hilarious, and The Room is also unintentionally hilarious. Like the worst film ever. District 9, Neil Blomkamp's debut, which is a pretty solid sci-fi film. It's a pretty good steelbook as well. One of my earliest buys. I picked this one up recently, Disturbia, which is kind of like a teenage Rear Window. Good film. I'm a Shia LaBeouf fan, and I think he has some good films from the late 2000s. This is also one of them. I was gonna say Clint Eastwood. Quentin Tarantino classic here, Django Unchained. I know a lot of people rate this very, very highly. I like it as well. It's hard for me to rate his filmography. I know Reservoir Dogs is number 1 for me, but this film is fantastic as well. Leo is also great in that one. Doctor Sleep. I've got The Shining later. You'll see that later. Doctor Sleep was a sequel to The Shining. Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. Such a good film. I think they did a really good job with this. I think Rebecca Ferguson was fantastic as a villain. They probably should have done better with that steelbook though. It's not that great. Doctor Strange. When I watched this the first time, I was disappointed, and then I rewatched it again, and I liked it a lot more. I think it's a pretty smart film, and a highlight of the Marvel universe. I know a lot of people probably don't rate it that highly, but I like it. Two very funny films. Dodgeball is fantastic, and There's Something About Mary is just so funny as well. There was no way I wasn't gonna get this set. I'm also a big fan of Cameron Diaz, as I mentioned earlier. Joseph Gordon-Levitt directed film, Don John, about a guy with the porn/sex addiction. Really good film. He should make more stuff, I think. Donnie Darko. This is one of the Blu-rays that I bought twice by mistake. That's happened a few times. But Donnie Darko is pretty good. On a rewatch, I don't think it was as good as I thought it was, but pretty good film. Double Indemnity, really good classic film. Nice little mystery. That's worth watching if you like classic Hollywood. Doctor Strangelove, Stanley Kubrick film, which is pretty funny, pretty great film. It does not come in my Stanley Kubrick box set, which I have. That's why I had to get it separate. But look at this digibook. This is well worth picking up. I have not rewatched this in a long time though. I know I've got the Classic Monsters collection, but I had to get at least one of these releases of the classic horror monsters and Dracula. Look at this slip. Just a fantastic release. Had to pick that one up. Really great film. And then we have Bram Stoker's Dracula and Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Dracula is great. I like Bram Stoker's Dracula. Francis Ford Coppola directed that one. Frankenstein, I'm not sure who directed that one, but that film was not very good. I don't really like that one. So this one is The Dreamers, a film with Eva Green about the French kind of like a French artistic revolution. And this is by Bernardo Bertolucci. This is not available in the US, which is a damn shame. So I had to get a German copy that works here, and it works perfectly fine. So I have no complaints. I just wish it said Dreamers instead of Died Trauma. One of my favorite films of all time, instantly memorable, fantastic soundtrack. Ryan Gosling is amazing in this film. And Nicholas Winding Refn is actually one of my favorite directors as well. Drive. Everyone knows about this film. I was very happy to get a steelbook. I think I had a regular release of this first, and then the steelbook came out. Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk, which I really enjoyed. I thought it was a very smart film. Kind of hard to grasp at times, like to see what's the different events and timelines. But I think Christopher Nolan is a fantastic technical director, so that film is proof. Edge of 17, a really great kind of coming of age film with Haley Steinfeld. I think she's a great actress, and Woody Harrelson and her play off of each other very well in that one. If you haven't seen that one, please watch it. Edge of Tomorrow. I know a lot of people will say Live, Die, Repeat. Edge of Tomorrow, good film. Emily Blunt is great in it. I have a lot of Tom Cruise in my collection. I think that's a pretty decent sci-fi film. Really good coming of age film called 8th Grade by Bo Burnham. I think her name is Elsie Fisher. She's so fantastic in this film. This film is so funny, so awkward, relatable. An Alexander Payne film, Election. One of probably his best film out there. Election is amazing. Reese Witherspoon, Matthew Broderick. I know there's a Criterion release of this, but I don't really like the cover of it, I guess, so I just opted for something cheaper. One of my favorite films of this year. I know with COVID, the films haven't been coming out right. Things have been getting delayed, but Emma is one of the last films I saw in theaters before this all began. Emma's fantastic. I'm in love with Anya Taylor-Joy. I actually met her right after this screening because she came to do like a kind of an interview afterwards, and then I was able to see her outside and take a picture with her, so it's fantastic. That's a great film, great adaptation. I've seen the Gwyneth Paltrow version, which was pretty good too. It's like based on a Jane Austen novel. Enemy. This is Denis Villeneuve's one of his earlier films before he really hit it big. Enemy is subject to interpretation, but a pretty damn good film right there. Jake Gyllenhaal. A really good Criterion by David Lynch with Jack Nance, Eraserhead. I'm a huge David Lynch fan. You'll see Twin Peaks later in my collection. This is an amazing film. It's very like what the fuck type film. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I believe this is written by Charlie Kaufman, who is really great. Yeah, it is. Really great writer, screenwriter. This is a really good film, well acted. I know a lot of people like this film. I love Eurotrip. Kind of plays off the road trip series when it was popular. But this is a really good film. Very funny. Very rewatchable as well. The original Evil Dead on Steelbook. I like the first one. I don't like 2 and Army of Darkness that much. I think the first one is the best like horror film. I have the remake, but a lot of the new buys that I have are not in order because I'm kind of rewatching my new buys and then putting them in the shelf. So you'll see it at the very end. But that's a good film. Existence, one of the best David Cronenberg films I've ever seen. It's his best film. I'm gonna say it. I think it's my favorite film from him. I think it's absolutely amazing, the virtual world they create. I'm so glad I found this on Blu-ray because this is such a good film. I can't praise this film enough. Just like I can't praise this one enough either. Ex Machina by Alex Garland. This kind of propelled Alicia Vikander into the scene, and Oscar Isaac as well. This is such a good film. Such a smart film. Really good sci-fi film. I think it came out in like 2015. The original, well, The Exorcist. This has the extended cut and the original theatrical cut. I think I've only seen the extended cut anyways. Really good film. I don't really get scared by horror films, but I know a lot of people find this film pretty scary, but I think it's very well made. William Friedkin film. E.T., which is a pretty good Steven Spielberg film. He does good with his sci-fi films. Makes it real family friendly. E.T., nice steelbook. If you're a film lover, you gotta own that one. The Family. I don't know if a lot of people have heard of this one. I kind of like this film. Actually, I like this film. It's not great or anything, but it's kind of a weird Luc Besson film that I enjoy. And I also like Diana Agron in that. Fantasia and Fantasia 2000. I got this used and pretty cheap, way cheaper than I thought it would be because I think this is rare. Slipcover is fantastic on this. Watching this takes patience because it's a lot of slow build-up, but some of the skits are nice. A triple pack of Fantastic Four, which I already watched recently. It's kind of campy, not like amazing or anything, but pretty good. Elektra, which is pretty bad, and Daredevil, which I liked when I first saw it, and then second watch it was kind of eh. This was such a weird buy for me because I went to see this in theaters and I hated it, so it wasn't good. And then I rewatched it. I bought it and then I rewatched it and I still hated it. But somehow there's something about this film that I like. I don't know what it is. I guess it looks nice. Fargo. The show just recently came back. Probably one of the better Coen brother films. This is a really nice steelbook as well. Yeah, that's a really good film. Nice like Minnesota accent / comedy, I guess. Fast and the Furious. The first one is the only one I need to own because the first one I think is good, and then it just kind of becomes too much. Like first they're just drag racing, and now they're saving the world and going into space, and God knows what else they're doing. I mean, the films are good fun, I guess. Not really for me. Double feature of Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which I like, and Dazed and Confused. Both are pretty good. Good to have. Last on the shelf, Fatal Attraction, which is a fantastic film. Saw it in a psychology class first. Glenn Close is absolutely fantastic in this. This theme of the crazy ex is kind of done. Has been done a lot, but this does it best. This is such a fantastic film. Alright, so this is it for this video. We're gonna move into the next one right away.